Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carl, I'm a recovery coach at Cap Recovery Center. This is our men in training meeting. The article topic I picked is learning a whole new way of life in recovery. And the article is by critiquelodge.com. So we'll hop in right into it. Overcoming addiction is no easy future. If you have gone through an alcohol or drug detox, then you have already come a long way. You should be proud of what you have achieved so far, but now comes the hard part. Now that you are clean from substance, you are on the road to recovery. Your journey will evolve over time, and so will you. A new way of life, new way of living begins now. Here's some food for thought as you rebuild your life in recovery. So here's one of them. Take it one day at a time. Recovery can be exciting. It is a fresh chance at a new start, but no matter how enthusiastic and ready you are, change won't happen overnight. It takes time and patience to develop new habits. You may find the prospect of recovery overwhelming. Re-entering life after the safety of a detox facility and 24/7 support can be daunting. Take things one day at a time. Stick to your recovery plan. Keep tending to support groups and lean on family and friends. Learn coping techniques such as mindfulness that will keep you focused on the track. Treatment programs such as mindfulness-based cognitive behavioral therapy can help. So it talks about taking one day at a time, and that's what was passed down to me when I got in recovery, is taking one day at a time, like stay in the moment, stay in today. I think a lot of us and myself, we come in with a not so nice past, and we focus on that when we're clean and sober. That past can consume us, right? And I've learned our past doesn't define who I am today without drugs and alcohol, right? I'm not the same person that I was. I don't do the same things that I did. And I don't hang out with the people that I used to hang out with. So people and places and things. And we're trying to restructure our lives. And talks about coping skills, mindfulness techniques, stuff like that I didn't have. I didn't have good coping skills and coping strategies and positive outlook on life. So we read through some of the literature, and it talks about rebuilding our broken, fractured personalities. So we have to create a whole new us, right? And that can be overwhelming, as the article talks about. It can be very overwhelming. It can be you can be feared up, but if we don't try, then we won't know. So taking one day at a time, staying in the moment, living moment to moment is very important, and it's it helps us to be patient and tolerant and to focus on the here and now. And the next one, don't be so hard on yourself. It is easy to stray into old bad habits that could lead you back to addiction. So don't give yourself a hard time over little mistakes. Instead of beating yourself up, be proactive and take back control. You might feel a lot of shame after a hiccup in your recovery and want to hide away. But isolation is the worst thing you can do. Very true. Tell your support system who can help you get back on track. They are there to pick you up, not kick you while you're down. As you move further and further from your life of addiction, you will recall negative moments in your past and may struggle with feelings of shame and embarrassment. Remember, addiction is a disease and no one's fault. You have chosen to move on from a life of addiction, and it's important. What's going on, Giovanni? It is important to acknowledge and talk through these feelings, but also let yourself move on. The only way to go is forward. I like that. The only way to go is forward. We don't want to go backwards. Look, I didn't come into recovery to go backwards, right? I wanted to come in recovery to change and be a better person. So the article I have here, Giovanni, is learning a new way of life of recovery. And so that goes with changing, changing our thinking, changing our patterns, getting new routines, new coping skills, for me, I had to change everything. I had to change a lot. I had to change everything. And that can be overwhelming. We talked about that being overwhelming, just without drugs and alcohol, right? We just talked about this yesterday. Me and a buddy of mine, like that's a big thing from the background and the past of drugs and alcohol every day to chaos, drama, running the streets, always um, doing a lot of bad things to like doing a totally opposite. That's a big task, right? But it can be done. If we simplify it one thing at a time, one day at a time, and like it doesn't we talks about we don't change overnight, but we do change, you know. So it hard for you to change certain things? Can it be challenging?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be tough.
If you got like this, what's a word?
Routine,
Nah, it's like pressure.
peer pressure.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's one of the things. Like as kids, we can be peer pressured to doing things, and we want to fit in. We like to be, I don't think anybody likes not to be liked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or don't want to be associated with. But like a lot of us get peer pressure, or asked over and over again. We want to fit in, and at the moment we thought we're having fun and we're going to fit in stuff. Lo and behold, we didn't know our life was going to turn for the worst. And the literature talks about jails, institutions, and death, and that's definitely my story and many others. But this part we're talking about is not. Don't be so hard on yourself. And I was very hard on myself when I got clean because we come in recovery with a lot of baggage, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. We've done a lot of bad things. So how is it not to come from all that to not being hard on ourselves? We don't have our coping mechanism and coping skills was using drugs and alcohol. Suppress these things that was going on and things that created, and we don't have that. Now we're left with the wreckage. So it comes to a level of acceptance. Like this is what I've done, and this is why I've done it because I wanted drugs, I wanted money, I wanted to use, and I had to do what I needed to do to get that. I don't do that today, so that's just part of the disease of addiction. It's causing pain, causing harm, causing suffering. It goes hand in hand, So it's like that's not me. This is me today, So you have to sort through all that stuff, and that's why we do like step work and go over with a sponsor, mentor, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of hard to not to be hard on ourselves when we come in recovery and like we got all this stuff going on. It's tough, especially in early recovery. Say work towards small goals. As you take on this new way of living day by day, set new goals along the way to work towards and look forward to remember to make these goals achievable. Don't set yourself up for failure like that. Your recovery plan will have goals to meet, so celebrate these milestones when you reach them. But these goals don't always have to be recovery based. They could be as small as making your bed every morning or writing in a journal every day. Reaching small goals will keep your morale up and encourage you to keep working towards long-term recovery knowledge and celebrate these achievements, progress. That's funny. The stupid it sounds or the funny it has it sounds. And that's like true. Like little stuff like that I was not doing when I was using drugs and alcohol. I didn't care about anything. I learned to be. We talk about this as a man in training. This is how I began to turn to be a man is through the process of recovery and other recovering addicts helping me out and showing me things. I grew up actually to be a man in recovery. because the only thing I was doing is being a little kid. I was being childish. I was doing childish things. I was saying childish things. Um, and I truly believe like when the age you start using, that carries on throughout your adulthood. I really believe that because we really stop our thought process. You know what I mean? We suppress our emotions and feelings, and we don't want to grow up. I did anyway. I just wanted to do what I wanted to do, and that was it. I had no coping skills. I had no respect. I didn't have anything. So to learn all that and be taught that kind of stuff, it takes time. So and it talks about working towards small goals, achievable. They don't want you to set yourself up for failure. It talks about. So it's like make something that's achievable. Little victories or big victories. So it's definitely to make short-term goals, long-term goals, big, small, but make them attainable. And if you fail, well, not a fail, right? It's a lesson, really. It's like, all right, well, I didn't do it this time, so let me try again and do it again. If you keep on trying, eventually you will, pass or get what you wanted to get.
Yep.
Find new purpose. Now that you have put addiction behind you, it is time to fill your days with something else. You need a new focus in your life. A good idea is starting a new job or hobby. Find something that you want to wake up every day for and what will give you a sense of purpose. There are many different ways to find purpose in your life. Volunteering your time can be very rewarding and allow you to learn new skills and make new friends. Engaging in hobbies, old or new, can be very fulfilling, and pursuing your interests will keep your mind busy. Reveal yourself how you want to be seen, possibilities and endless. What are you waiting for? So, have you learned or found your purpose that you can think of, or any type of hobbies that you do?
Um,
Mine, I can give you mine. Mine's fishing. That's one of my hobbies. I like fishing. Um, and it's just finding a new purpose. My purpose today is giving back to other people, you know. Um, but yeah, like I came in recovery with, like I said earlier, nothing. And so I didn't have no life skills. I didn't have no work ethic. I didn't have, um, good coping skills. We talked about that earlier. I wasn't on time for anything. I wasn't reliable, accountable, uh, all the good things that, we're supposed to be members of society. Like I wasn't, so finding your new purpose in life, and that happens over, and that changes throughout recovery too. We think our purpose is one thing, and then it can change also. We have many purposes in life. A purpose of being a good human being, purpose of being a good boyfriend, a good son. We have a lot of purpose today that we don't look at. You know what I mean? So people love us, people care about us. So we all have purpose, and you have to find that for yourself and accept, the things we've done, the things we've been through. And if we don't accept our past, then how are we going to look to the future? And the last one here. See, but I like this. You have no hobbies. Yeah, no any kind of hobbies.
yeah, just don't I can't think too much
No.
because I don't feel too good or
I
anything.
know. Feeling bad. Yeah, a lot of people are getting sick and don't feel too good. So thank you for coming. But and you gotta to stick with that, find a new purpose. You have to find that out for yourself. Nobody can give you a purpose. People can help you and find your purpose. But to push your purpose onto somebody else, it just doesn't work that way. So I found my purpose of, like I said, helping other people out in life in general, but especially out in recovery.
I guess I can say learning new stuff, I guess.
Yeah, Yeah, you're open-minded to new things. If we are closed-minded, how are we going to change and grow?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I look at it now, I was very closed-minded when I was using, because I wasn't willing to listen. I wasn't willing to take direction. Now I always want to do the opposite. You're gonna tell me this, I'm gonna do this. You know what I mean? Or do it my way. I'm not gonna listen to you or the judge or the cops or the lawyers. But yeah, it's always to be open minded. It's always room for growth on a day to day basis. We come into recovery and we never arrive. There's always uh, things to be taught. There's always ways to be changing. It's just always an ongoing process to change.
Yeah.
This is a good one. And this is the last one. This article is avoid relapse. Avoiding relapse sounds like obvious advice. Yeah, it does. But relapse is not simply deciding to use alcohol or drugs again. There are three stages of relapse: emotional, mental, and physical. Truly believe that. Signs and emotional relapse can include social isolation. So these are important. Social isolation, poor self care, not attending therapy. And there's a list that goes on, but these are three key factors of it. This is a slippery slope. Mentally must be avoided at all costs. Learning the signs of relapse can make you aware of them and let you know when it's time to seek help. Avoid relapse by attending your support groups, meetings, and therapy, even if you feel you have improved. Keep working towards small goals. Stay mindful of your mental health and reach out to your support system. If you feel yourself slipping, take it one day at a time, and you will be on your way to recovery. Um, so it talks about support groups, as we are in one now. Meetings, right? Therapy, counseling. These are the things that we have to do coming from out of the active addiction, right? We can't social. It talks about social isolation. Um, that's what my life turned to, is social isolation. Um, Only reason I was out in society or dealing with others is to get money, get drugs. It was all bad things. Poor self care. Yes, I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't eating right. I wasn't bathing right. I wasn't sleeping right. And it says not attending therapy. My therapy was using more drugs to cover up what I had to, express. That's a lot of, some people come in with PTSD, depression, anxiety. We have all these things that we create, and the way we deal with them was through drugs and alcohol. We would mask it. Now, like I said a little bit earlier, that we come in recovery and we have all this stuff going on with us. That's why it's the mental, the physical, and the spiritual. And we have to attend all those things. I try to spread out my recovery throughout the mental, the physical, and the spiritual. We have more success that way. We have long lasting recovery. That's what my aim is, and I think for a lot of people is long lasting recovery. And long lasting recovery means, I want to stay clean for the rest of my life. If I work on getting therapy and counseling, going to meetings, having a mentor, having a sponsor, having groups and meetings to go to, and talking with other recovering addicts, and it talks about we will be on our way to recovery. And I truly believe that. And it just takes time, it definitely takes time. But that was the end of the article. I think it was a pretty good one. Learning a whole new way of life in recovery. Um, that's all we can do is take it one day at a time. So I thank you for coming here, Bonnie. I hope you feel better, brother. Until next time, I'll see you later.